Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Snatch Chat, where I'm here to help you lose fat, but not your mind. I'm Tiffany, certified personal trainer, nutrition specialist, and your body snatcher. And today we will be talking about macros. So macros is a very, very popular topic, as you probably know. We talk about it all the time, and there's so much information surrounding them. So much so that I will do more episodes down the road, just talking about different facets about it. But today I'm just going to give you my 3 main points that I think you should understand as the go-to idea about what they're about. Okay, so, but before we get into that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really does help, and I do post every week, so you will, get all the info that I have to help you with your snatching mission. And then also, even further so, go and get the workouts that are in the description to really get you on your snatching mission, because I have put 3 workouts from my Snatch Sessions program. They're 45 minutes or so piece, and they're full length, and they're really good. And the whole point of the program is to really help with habit change. Okay, and to make fitness sustainable so that you don't just lose the weight, but you can keep it off because you've changed your way of thinking and acting and doing. So definitely take advantage of that. Okay, so now that I got all of that out the way, we'll go ahead and get into the topic, but I will also just quickly say, remember that this is a chat. That's why it's called Snatch Chat. I have my notes in front of me. I'm going to try to get through them as fast as possible. I do like to rant every now and then, but that's just what I do. Okay? So bear with me, and it's all in one take. It's kind of like, it is very much so like my fitness program. If you go check out the workouts, you'll see that it's very in real time and raw and real. So I'm just staying with my branding, okay? All right, so first point, I'm going to go into what macros are and to explain them, okay? So in general, you just look at macros as what it says. So macro and micro are different, right? So macro is like the big and micro is the small. So when we're talking about macronutrients, we're talking about the major nutrients, okay, that make up food. And those are protein, fat, and carbs, okay? Micronutrients are everything else on the food label, our vitamins, minerals, stuff like that, okay? So when we talk about food, we're usually very focused on macros because they are the major component and they all have different functions, okay? And I would like to go into those functions and what they do for the body, because I think a lot of times when we talk about these macros, we talk about them in terms of what we want them to do for us and how they affect our weight loss and stuff like that, but we don't really understand the role of them. So I'm going to quickly go through the roles. So carbs, first and foremost, they are your body's preferred energy source, okay? So when your body needs to perform, do anything, carbs is what your body pulls first, okay? That is what it's going to try to get. And also, furthermore, your brain, it's the only source of fuel for your brain, okay? And I just like to say that because it sounds crazy, but it is. So, the low carb thing, I get it, but just keep that in mind. It is your brain's absolute preferred energy source, okay? So that is the main thing for carbs, is it's an energy source. Fat, on the other hand, is to be looked at as like a storage system. So it cushions, organs in the body. It stores all the things that comes into your body, which is what we think about mostly. We think about the fat that we do not want, the extra fat that isn't really serving a purpose, but in general, fat in itself is not a bad thing because it is needed for the body and it is an energy storage system, okay? And then last is protein, which is the muscle's friend, okay? A BFF. So protein restores muscle, it repairs it, it primes it, it make sure that your muscles are ready for whatever is coming for it, and it preserves your lean mass. So that's why protein is associated with, you know, strength training and everything like that. Okay, so that is the major breakdown of what you need to understand about their roles. Okay, number two, we're getting into recommendations. So this is where the fitness conversation starts to come into play, and where there's the discrepancy in opinions and what people think should be done. So I'm going to just give you the recommendations from the USDA. Okay, so theirs is carbs should be 45 to 65% of your diet. Protein should be 10 to 35%, and fat should be 20 to 35%. Okay, so clearly you can see that those are very broad ranges, right? So you could go, it pretty much makes it where you could go any end. You could do 10 protein or 35 protein. I mean, that makes the other two completely flexible, right? So with that, I'm not going to go into like the whole deepness of, actually the third point will go a little bit into it, but you know, I just really in this video wanted to let you know what the idea is behind it. But the main point I want to make with these numbers is that you will adjust your macros based on your goals. And you know, everybody won't need to adjust their macros based on goals, but it can be. So, you know, like a athlete, someone like that may need like a lot of protein. There is a recommendation that is pretty widely accepted as well, that you should, for like protein, for instance, you should have like 0.7 grams for every pound of body weight. Things like that. I don't preferably care for those kind of dynamics, because you know, it's okay up to a certain point, but then it's like if you're, say you're, I don't know, 200 pounds times 0.7, that's saying you need 140 grams of protein. Not bad. I wouldn't say it's bad, but then some people say all the way up to a pound, not a pound, but a gram for every pound, and then you're looking at 200 and 250. So you have to just be careful with those kind of numbers when it comes to those kind of topics. But it is good to have the recommendation. So I would definitely go with these, you know, midline kind of, you know, recommendations. But if you're wondering how you would know or what, you know, you should do and all of that, that would take me to point number 3. And this is where it's going to get a little bit controversial, because I know you have seen people who go crazy tracking their macros, how much protein they need, all this and that. And I'm here to tell you that mostly, if you eat with some sense, okay, like you got some sense, your macros will balance out pretty well on their own. Okay, so I'll use myself as an example, and I'll give you, like, you know, exceptions to rules. So in general, because I am like sustainable, you know, kind of coach, I don't really believe in super, it's really blurry, right? Because I do believe in tracking calories, and I believe you should do it because it's very helpful in the process. I'm not a super like tracking macros person. However, I do always advocate for, you know, someone else doing it for you, or technology doing it for you. So as I mentioned in my last video, I do have a Fitbit, so it tells me as I'm logging things, you know, where my distribution is going. And I can tell you from experience that I literally just log my food. Sometimes I do it even at the end of the day, because I know, you know, pretty much what my food is going to be like for the day. I kind of have it in my head what's going to happen, you know, based on what I want for my calories. So as I always say, calories is the most important thing. I'll log, and what I'll find is that the macro distribution is usually fine. Okay, it's usually fine. What I will say is the benefit of logging throughout the day is that you can adjust your macros based on what's going on. So if you are one of those people interested in tracking macros, I would say your best bet would be to get, a Fitbit or any kind of device. My leg is going to sleep. I ain't even gonna lie, my leg is going to sleep. I need to straighten my legs, y'all. Okay, I'm getting too unprofessional now. All right, so back to the topic. Yes, you should get a Fitbit or something that will actually break up the stuff for you, okay? Because it's just a way to make things easier on yourself. So, one thing I do when it comes to paying attention to my macros, and this is pretty much the only time that I super care, is when I know that I'm having workout days. Okay, so if I know that I'm doing strength routines, I do put a priority on my protein. And what that means for me is that I pay attention more to my protein throughout the day. But even that is more of a instinctual thing, right? So if I know that I'm going to be working out and I'm going to eat something right after, some protein right after anyways, what I'll do is throughout the day, if it's becoming a little later and I realize that my protein is a little lower, than I would prefer, then I will eat something to make up for it. And that's usually in a low calorie option like Greek yogurt, or it's usually Greek yogurt. To be honest, that's probably one of my favorite fill-in snacks because it's very low calorie. This is just some side secret sauce, and I guess it would literally be secret sauce because yogurt is really creamy and stuff. But yeah, it's a really good filler because it has some of them have, the ones I have are 12 to 15 grams of protein, and they're only 80 to 100 calories. So, it's a good filler. But that's the only time I really stress my protein at all. And then the other ones I don't stress at all. And I don't know if this is really what people really want to hear, but I think it's really important to be said that, okay, I get results that I want, and I get clients results that they want, and without having to obsess about their macros. Okay, you can totally just eat with some sense and get your results and lose weight, because as I say in just about every video at this point, it's getting a little ridiculous, but it is just the truth. In the end, it's all about your calories. So if you are logging your calories and you are finding that you are staying within your calorie ranges, you are very much going to lose weight. And while there are optimal ways to, make that beneficial, in the end, all you need is the caloric deficit. Now, should you focus a little bit more on not eating, cake and all of that? Of course, because the whole point of the caloric deficit is you want to eat really good foods that keep you full so that you don't eat more, okay? And what you'll find is that if you're really sticking to vegetables, whole grains, and, healthy meats, lean, and things like that, and just real food, and not eating a lot of extra processed stuff. And I still eat processed stuff too, but I'm just saying, if you focus on mostly good, you will find that your macros do balance out, okay? And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So if you have any questions, okay, you can leave them in the comments. If you have any specifics that you want to know about macros, leave it in the comments, and I will probably do some videos down the road because it is an important topic, and there are things that do help a little bit more, or change the trajectory a little bit or whatever. But the main point of this video is just to really give you the lowdown on what they really are, on a more basic level, but also just how to kind of look at them. And the main takeaway is that I think that you should just really focus on things that you can do right now to make a change, and not worry about things like your macro distribution, because there are so many other things that will get you results a lot faster and better than focusing on that. And if you want to focus on something numbers wise, it would be your calories. So that is what I'm going to leave it with. Okay, so I think I got all my points. Let me see. Yeah, I said eat based on your day. So if you're working out, maybe do more protein. I said that. And I did log calories, all of that. So yeah, that is it. Your actionable step is to start looking at food labels and to really pay attention to what they are saying to you, okay? And one thing that is really helpful is the next time you're in the grocery store, look at 2 different brands of something, okay? And this is not even just really for macros. For calories first, look to see if there's a similar brand and if the calorie count is less, and also look at the portion size though. Don't let them trick you. If one brand says, you can get 20 of something, and the other one says 12, but this one has, less calories, well, of course it does. You gotta look at it logically, but usually the labels are the same for sizes, because they use the standard 1 ounce or whatever. But anyways, this is what I'm talking about. I'm getting on a tangent, okay? But when you're grocery shopping, look at 2 different labels and see who has, I don't know why I said who, they're not people, they're things. Which one has the most calories, which one, and then just start looking at fat distribution, how many carbs, all of that good stuff, okay? So that's it for the day. Like I said, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you get your workouts. Other than that, take care of yourself, eat well, be well, all that good stuff, and I will see you next time.